What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and for today's trailer review and reaction we have an interesting one here which I haven't seen too many other people talking about outside of this, when I found this article. And keeping in mind the article just came out yesterday midday, but even still I haven't seen too many other people in the horror community talking about this one. I don't know if this has just gotten overlooked because of the premise, because of the source material, or maybe because of the fact that who's starring in it. But it definitely caught my eye, one, because of those things: one, of the source material, two, who's in it, and just the setting that this film is going to be in. So cover off on the headline here: a blind bargain trailer. Crispin Glover stars in reimaging of lost Lon Chaney classic, and this is an exclusive trailer. Arrow in the Head shares the exclusive first look at the trailer for the Crispin Glover horror film A Blind Bargain. Now, before we get into the article details, and the article I did skim through it, it does cover off on some of these details here, but if you didn't know, A Blind Bargain, it was a silent horror film from 1922. It was actually completed in late 1921, but didn't get released until almost a year later in December of 1922. And it was one of those, and the reason why it took so long to get to that process as far as getting released, it was due to censorship, because at the time there was a lot of problems around the theme that this film deals with, specifically around creating an artificial life and the attempt of playing God. So because of that, there was various cuts made to the film, and my understanding was it went from like 6 or 7 reels of film down to like 5. They had to go constantly be rewriting the title cards for the film, but it eventually got released. And unfortunately though, the film itself, is why they call it lost, is because there's believed to be no living copies of this film. The original negatives were destroyed in 1931 by MGM. And then, if you all recall, if you happen to know about the story about the 1965 fire in vault number 7, any remaining copies, last surviving copies, were believed to have been in that vault and were destroyed. So as of today, there's no known living copies of that original 1922 film, unless there just happens to be one of those circumstances where, I know we saw this kind of with some of the old original Doctor Who episodes, where various episodes were thought to have been lost, of the some of the original episodes, and they were some of them were found in various other places. So unless there just happens to be one copy or a few copies of this film sitting somewhere in someone's attic, in someone's safe and safety deposit box, and nobody knows about it, it's just currently been sitting there this whole time, or until someone came in possession of it, there's no known copies. So a little history on what that is as far as A Blind Bargain. Now we have this film. It's a reimaging of it with Crispin Glover. So we're going to get into the article details, and then we're going to take a look at this trailer. And this covers off some of what I just said. So I'm not going to read this verbatim, but as you can see here, in 1922, it talks about what I just said. The doctors creating artificial life, attempting to play God. It talks about the Vault 7 1965 fire, and no surviving copies of this. Now, we'll scroll down a little bit more. Based on Barry Payne's novel, The Octave of Claudius, A Blind Bargain shows that what happens when a desperate young man strikes a dark deal with an unhinged doctor, offering his mother as a subject for the physician's twisted experiments. Then we have here the casting for the film itself. It's going to be based in 1970. That's the time period this film is going to be based in, and it's not going to be a silent film, so they're not taking that aspect from the original. Bunnell wrote the screenplay for the new version of A Blind Bargain with John Valetico, working from a story by Bing Bailey. Bunnell and Bailey also produced the film, with Valetico serving as executive producer. John Duffy co-produced, and more information on that. Burnell provided the following statement: I wanted to make a blind bargain seem like it could have been an episode of Rod Serling's Night Gallery, and I believe I have achieved this to my satisfaction. And then just, we have some images here from the film, from the trailer. It looks very 1970s as far as the clothes, the backgrounds, the aesthetic, the colors. Even here, even the curtains look 1970. Scroll down. You have a little bit something different here going on as far as that background goes. But if we're talking about an unhinged doctor, I'd imagine there's going to be some, considering it's 1970, some hallucinations, potentially happening, some, other things being taken that may be causing this particular scene to happen. We'll find out maybe in the trailer. Again, another image. And then I think we have, the poster here, which is a very clean looking poster. Outside the title, and then a remake of the lost Lon Chaney classic. I like this poster. I like it clean. I don't like movie posters when they have all the fine font credit down here at the bottom listing everyone's name. I like them just clean like this. So it's a very nice clean poster. So let's see if this poster holds true to what we're about ready to watch in this trailer. All right, so let's pull up the trailer and see what we're getting ourselves into.
I work within the field of science and making people feel better. And now it is firmly in your grasp.
You know what a worm is, junkie?
I swear, I'll pay you back, all of it.
What are you spending your money on?
Stuff.
Everyone grows old. Growing old is not mandatory.
I must admit, I do love the results of your work.
You are my creation.
Your mother's blood could be very valuable for Dr. Gruder's research.
So you want to buy her blood, right?
Yes. Amongst other things.
I've never been to a spa like this before.
You're the only spa guest being admitted today.
I knew you were heartless. I didn't think you didn't have a soul.
What a trip.
You are a naughty boy, Dr. Gruder.
And he likes cats.
No need to call the police.
And this wasn't part of the deal.
Isn't it amazing? Gruder's a genius.
Horror.
You want to try your luck?
Nope, it's not safe.
Feel better?
Where have you taken me?
To a place where the phoenix flies and your feet never touch the ground.
So I think that looks great. I think that trailer was pretty good. In my opinion, it was pretty good. It hits on several points for me. I love the film style of that trailer. It had that 1970s feel, and I'm not talking about the environment, the clothing, all that definitely felt like the 70s, especially when they're at that kitchen table and they have like these huge hands that are made as their chairs. The clothing was all there. You saw a couple aspects where it looks like some of them, especially one of the main characters, looks like to be the son of the mother, and he's handing her over to Crispin, who looks like he's the one obviously playing the unhinged doctor. Looks like he's taking some hallucinogens, because we saw some of that aspect into this, which you would think 1970s. It wasn't uncommon for that to be happening. We all know that was taking place in the 70s, but just that the film style looked like it was an older film, and it also had that grindhouse feel to it in many areas of the filming. There were some aspects where it did look a touch crisper and a touch cleaner as far as how the picture looked, but in more aspects than others, it looked very 1970s, like an older film. Again, that grindhouse look almost to it, and I love the grindhouse look. One film I love especially, it's not necessarily horror, is Death Proof. The first half of that film, where you have the cigarette burns, you have like the scratching, the skipping of the film. I love that look and feel to films, and this almost got there, but again, still had that grindhouse feel. Now, as far as the film itself, I think Crispin Glover, I mean, he's fitting that part. That part looks like it was almost made for him. And I understand Crispin Glover hasn't been, really doing a whole lot lately, and if he has been, it's been, far and few between. I mean, we all know his history. He's a difficult actor to work with. We all know his history with the whole Back to the Future situation. And I think some of those things give him a stigma where he doesn't, a lot of people don't necessarily want to work with him. But this here, to me, it was almost like a part made for him. Just every aspect that he was bringing, especially when he was asked, "So you want my mother's blood?" Yes, amongst other things. Just how he looked and said that line. Again, I can only imagine how some of the other parts that will play out in this film, as he's supposed to be, again, playing this unhinged doctor, playing all these experiments. So outside of that, again, I don't see too many people talking about this film. Again, even though this is a re-imaging of a 1922 film, again, and one thing I want to know is, you've all heard me say this before when it comes to remakes and reboots. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big proponent of them. I'm going to say for this one, I don't see this as a remake or reboot, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're talking about a film from 1922. There's no living copies of it. We have no really source material to go back to outside of potentially if there's any living scripts, things of that nature. It's not like we're taking, Halloween, from like 2024 and saying, "Oh, we're gonna do another Halloween and the exact same thing. We're just gonna remake it for 2026 or 2027, right?" We're not. That's not what this is. And I don't. Well, at least I don't view that as that's what's happening here. So, again, I'm not backing off my fact of remakes and reboots and my disdain for them. In many ways, I don't see this as fitting that category. So I just want to point that out and be clear in case anyone calls me out in the comments section about, "Well, hey, you said this about remakes and reboots." Again, I don't see that as one of those. So, anyways, I'm all in for this one. Unfortunately, it just says coming soon. Obviously, in the trailer, we don't know in the article either when this is going to be coming out. If it's going to be hitting theaters and digital, or just digital and streaming, we don't know yet. But it's on my list to see. I cannot wait to see this film. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Are you in for a blind bargain? Are these the type of films that are up your alley, or is this just like, yeah, this is just not for me? Again, let me know down in the comment section. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And to all my new and existing subscribers, thank you so much for the support. It is greatly appreciated, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.